Henry says, Dad, look, I have brought my girlfriend home, and look, this is my dad. The old man says, son, you people must be tired. Come sit and eat food. Haley says angrily, you cheap man, where have you brought me? And your father has made only this little food for me. The old man says, son, I didn't know what you like. That's why I made just a little food. Come sit and eat. Henry says, come, and they both move forward to sit. Henry sits down. Haley says angrily, you cheap man, you sat yourself. Who will fix the chair for me? Henry becomes disappointed in front of his father and says, okay, and he fixes the chair for her and she sits and angrily throws her purse toward Henry. Henry smiles and looks at his father, so the old man says, son, now you people eat. The food is getting cold. And daughter, where are you from? Haley replies arrogantly, bring me a glass of water. I am very thirsty. The old man says okay and gets up and goes from there. After a while, the old man comes back and puts a glass of water and says, son, here, drink water. Haley looks at the water and angrily says, you cheap man, will I drink this cheap water? Henry says, drink it today. We don't have the water that you drink. Haley angrily says, I don't like this water. This thing doesn't enter your brain. Bring it from the market. And Henry gets up and goes from there. After some time at the dining table, Haley angrily says, your father has made very cheap and low-class food. Henry seriously says, he has made so much food. What more do you want? Haley angrily says, in our house, such food is eaten by our servants. When a guest comes to our house, such food is made that people keep staring. The old man says, son, now leave these talks. You tell me how was the food I made. Even if it was little, you liked it, right, son? Henry smiling says, Dad, the food was very good. Haley says, I already told you, such food is eaten by our servants. This food is nothing. And she angrily throws tissue on Henry. The old man says, son, you people sit. I will put this leftover food in the fridge because a lot of food is left. This is one day's food for us. And he gets up and starts picking up the food. Then Haley angrily says, you people eat leftover food? Even the servants of our house don't eat leftover food. What kind of people are you? The old man in extreme anger says, you are a very cheap girl. I am silent. That doesn't mean I can't speak. Stop your nonsense. Haley in extreme anger says, you cheap old man. How dare you talk in front of me? Henry says, please reduce your anger. Come sit on the side and talk. Haley in extreme anger says, you cheap man, didn't you tell your father that if he keeps doing this, then after marriage, it will be hard for him to live here. I will throw him out of the house. The old man in extreme anger says, you cheap girl, while I am alive, it is not possible that my son will marry you. Remove this thought from your mind. My son will not marry such a cheap and fallen girl because I will find a good and educated girl for him. Haley proudly says, you cheap man, you will see. I will marry your son in front of your eyes. He is crazy in my love. You can't do anything. I will marry your son and will throw you out of this house too. Remember this. The old man in extreme anger says, you cheap girl, get out of my house or it will not be good. Haley angrily says, you cheap man, I am not going anywhere from here. I am your son's girlfriend. I will marry him and come to this same house. Henry angrily says, you cheap girl, get out of my house. The girl who cannot respect my father, there is no benefit of marrying such a girl. Get out of here. Haley in extreme anger says, you cheap man, how can you do this? Then Henry in extreme anger slaps her and angrily says, get out of my house. So Haley angrily leaves from there. How did you like our story? Please give your valuable opinion. Thank you.